What if I told you that having herpes wasn't even the deal breaker for why your last disclosure went badly? It was the way that you framed it. If you ever tried to tell someone that you have herpes and it didn't go so well, you probably felt like, I'll never be able to handle this, or it's herpes that must be the problem, or I can't find a loving partner ever again because I have this. No, it's not even that. It's probably because you're making at least one of three possible mistakes. And in this video, I want to walk you through exactly what those three mistakes are, how to fix them so you never have to worry about disclosure ever again. Now, mistake number one is best illustrated if we flip the roles. So you don't have herpes and your date does, and you have a great connection with them and the date's going so well. And even if they were to bring it up totally casually and with confidence, you might have some questions. Oh, what does this mean for us? How do we keep safe? Tell me about herpes. And that person doesn't have the knowledge to tell you how to reduce the risk of transmission and how to keep each other safe and what this actually means in a relationship. Regardless of how confident they are, you're not going to feel totally understanding and totally comfortable with them. So the first mistake a lot of people make is putting their diagnosis over here, never getting properly educated, never feeling in control, both for themselves and their own transmission risk, but for educating other partners. So the key here is before we even start dating, let's get a solid knowledge base. If you want some help diving deep into what exactly is herpes, how to reduce transmission, and how to manage your symptoms, I'm going to leave a link in the description box. You can hop on a call with me and we'll figure out your exact situation. Now, mistake number two is where a lot of us get stuck long term because there isn't really a clear roadmap on how to navigate this. We feel ashamed, we have a certain narrative we hold on to, and we tell ourselves things like, I'm unworthy of love, and I'm a different person now, and my diagnosis defines me, and I have all of these things I used to have, but now I have herpes, and everyone's going to reject me. And this oftentimes is then projected onto our partners when it comes to disclosure. Things like, it's okay if you don't want to be with me, or this is hard to talk about, or something bad happened to me and I don't want to ruin your life as well. And it's all of this projection of our own insecurities about our diagnosis onto our partner that essentially is like saying, hey, I have this, please reject me. Or we just decide not to date. Or worse off, we date and we don't even disclose, and then we have to deal with the guilt or the uncertainty, or how do I tell someone that I have herpes now that I've slept with them? So the key here is to change the narrative around your own diagnosis. What does it mean about you? Personally, for me, I had sex and I got a virus. And I'm not dirty, I'm not disgusting, I'm not ashamed. And when I present myself to my partner, my new and improved self, because I've chosen to make this a catalyst for growth, I'm presenting my best self to them with confidence, with the certainty that I do deserve love. And that energy is going to be reflected back at myself. And even if they are ignorant, even if they are judgmental, I'm not going back this way. I'm still moving forward on to the next person because I know that I'm deserving of someone who is respectful, treats me nicely, wants to learn more about herpes, and wants to align with me. And mistake number three is just the icing on the cake. It's we stop viewing disclosure as a mutual conversation. We view it as some vulnerable confession, something that only we have to go through. When in reality, if we're knowledgeable about the actual prevalence and we reframe our mindset and think that most people should be having the conversation regardless of herpes status, and when we frame it as a conversation about sexual health, hey, before things get physical, let's talk about sexual health. It's important to me. I'm positive for HSV1 or HSV2. Do you have any questions about what that might mean for us? When it's framed in that sense, your partner is going to feel more receptive. They're going to feel like, wait, herpes, like I've never really been disclosed to, or herpes, that's crazy. And when you have the perspective that disclosure should be happening and that it's a mutual conversation, you're not going to be dissuaded by your partner's response. It no longer feels like a confession. It feels like something that you're doing as normal. And if they're going to have some crazy reaction like, oh my God, a herpes disclosure, they can learn the hard way. I mean that nicely, but people need to understand that herpes is out there and that by being an honest person, by disclosing your status, by taking precautions, you can feel as though you are a safer partner than those who don't even care or don't even take the time to ask. So the key here is that fixing all three of those mistakes is going to allow you to never have to think about how do I disclose? When do I disclose? Because the person that you become through that three-step process never has to think about how to disclose again. If you want some help diving deep into those 3 steps, I'll leave a link down below to work with me one-on-one. Or if you want to know my exact disclosure script, word for word, that's worked for me, I'll leave that video right here.